1:37, call this meeting to order. It'll sound official at first, but it's not really. Approve the agenda.
I actually have something on that I would like to, what?
Is it beyond what we're here for
Yep.
today?
It is, but it's kind of important for the rec department.
Okay,
I would like to approve a warrant for the rec department
one more for the rec department.
at some
Okay.
point if we can in this meeting.
Yep, we'll put that right after public comment. We want a motion, right? We do not. I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda.
I'll second the motion with the,
Okay, all those in favor of approving the agenda as amended, say aye.
aye,
Aye. Nay. All right. I don't think anybody's here for public comment. Since we've asked you guys here. All right, so what's the warrant issue? No.
The rec department, I'm the liaison, so they asked me, I think there's a new person in charge of the baseball stuff, and there's a fee for Cal Ripken. That's due. The sooner they get this check in, the sooner they can start practices.
Okay,
And it ties into we need to have a further conversation. And to be on the agenda at some point later.
we who, the rec department?
Select board with rec and money and Rita, the treasurer, getting money, that kind of thing, because I feel like it's unfair to Rita that I'm asking for this right now. I'm trying to push it through, but the rec really would like it right now. And it sort of ties into the bigger picture of warrants asking for money and the fact that the rec department has a budget and the system that we have for getting checks, that when they need checks and whatnot. Just would like to talk about it at some
Okay.
point in the future. But for right now, I'm wondering if we can get a check for the rec department from Rita.
And I imagine that.
it for?
$1,010.25.
Okay. And that's what you were talking to Rita about on your way in?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
so
So,
it's in their budget, the rec department's budget,
yeah, this is all their money that they can spend,
but they
we
need
still have to go-
authorization, they
They
need
still have to go
authorization,
through
okay.
Rita, and
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
and
authorization,
normally
okay.
we sign the warrants every 2 weeks, and so
Yeah,
if they're late or
They were
behind.
hoping to get it before
Exactly,
next time.
and
Okay.
I just thought that we might be able to do that, but in talking to Rita, I realized how that. I don't mean to waste our time, I'm not being very succinct in what I'm trying to express right now.
So,
They have to, the Little League, it used to belong to whatever Little League was belong,
right,
now it's Cal Ripken.
now it's Cal Ripken. Yeah. That's the.
And
I
so
get it.
it's
That's the
probably,
organization. It's like a
a fee that they have to
like
pay
a
to
membership
belong,
fee
yeah.
or something similar. Yeah, I mean, as long as Rita can cut the check. Yeah,
Do we need a motion to,
Yes, we do.
do that? I'll make a motion to, have Rita cut a check for the, rec department for the Cal Ripton, fees of $1,010.25.
$10.25.
I'll second.
any other discussion? All those in favor of having Rita cut that Cal Ripken check, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
So back. Thank you now. All right. So welcome, guys. We're just here. This is a relatively, Larry's back on the board again, but hasn't been here for a while. Bob's new. The rest of us haven't been here a long time, and honestly, I know just from being in here and going to the dump, I know most of the other town employees. But it occurred to me that I don't even know you guys. So it'd be nice to put faces to names and names to faces. Have a little conversation and just.
That's why they come on, Jack.
Yeah. I thought that was for you, so you could remember.
That takes care of two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, that takes care of two of you.
Yeah,
I don't know all you people either.
yeah, so maybe we could just start, Larry.
I'm Larry Trotter.
I'm Patrick Dakin.
Stuart Lavasser.
Nell Gwen, I grew up on Back River Road and I live in town.
Bob Gray. Live in town my whole life.
See, they gotta rub it in.
Brad Lewis.
Brad,
Brett.
Brad,
B.
Brad,
BRETT.
Brett, yeah, okay. Yeah.
I'm Bill Vidal.
Yeah, we know you, Dan.
I must be done.
Mike Lawrence, I live in Tunbridge.
Yep.
Adam Smith,
Where do you live, Adam?
here in Royalton.
Okay.
And you guys, you live in Royalton?
Me?
Yeah,
I live in Sharon.
Sharon, all the way over there.
Second Street.
The drive all the way in, eh? So, didn't know if you guys had any, questions or thoughts for us? If anybody here had anything? For the guys at this point?
I did hear a public comment that the roads look good this year. They changed from last year. So wanted to pass that along.
Yeah, that was on
We've had,
Facebook.
we've had an easier year and two graders looks in the box paper makes quite a difference.
Yeah,
And the North Road, Dummy, thanks a lot for filling in those potholes. It's good.
Yeah, Adam and Mike did that yesterday.
Yeah, I have, yeah, I've had people talk to me and say,
Last
Good job.
Friday they did, Pleasant Street there. And we use them projects to fill in and get a minute here and there.
yeah. Well, looks good.
Sandy Matavelis called me the other night and commenting about, I use the word commenting and not complaining.
You sure it was Sandy?
Yeah, yeah, well, she complained, but I'm gonna tell you she commented. And, about the road was rough and I thought that, and tough, and you guys had put in some coal patch in there and it didn't last because it rained, whatever. And so I went up night before last and drove on the road that's by your place. I assumed that it was what we did 15 years ago, up, you know, from the, what Ed Vesper's old welding shop up through to the top by the interstate, but that wasn't the issue. It was down by Windsor County Feed. That's where it's. And so I called her back and I said that we would do something there, but you can't do it until it warms up. And you get a few days with no rain. But I appreciated her call and concern and I will visit with you guys about it and I'm sure you'll take care of it. And once you get it done, let me know and I'll call her back.
I think you put,
Yeah, cause last week we did put cold patch in there, but then we did have that snowstorm that came through.
Yeah,
So some of
she-
it probably did get,
She's claimed
Rolled
it,
out.
it got knocked back out.
yeah, it might be the smaller holes. I know the bigger holes
Yeah.
did hold up. But it could be just those smaller ones that did get scraped out.
Like I said, when I drove across it, I could see the difference between what's on the flat there by Pleasant Street and what was up the hill that we did a long time ago, and that's up time. What was up the hill was pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't perfect interstate quality, but it certainly was very usable without any comment, my opinion. So, anyway, I just thought I'd mention that to you guys. Like, I'd like to really, but, Stuart said, I think that what I've been on the roads, that I think the roads are in really good shape. For this time of year, and Dairy Hill, up further, it's good, and of course Whitney Hill and Sherlock, you put a lot of material up in there in that hard pack, and it's really great. Got that one little spring hole there by, Impey's and Jones's, but that's pretty near healed up.
that never got really bad.
No,
And
no.
I put some stuff into that, but then it never really got bad. But it hasn't been bad this year on any of the roads really. I guess yesterday, they've been out checking all the roads. That really don't have much for anything for ruts there. There's few places where it is where it might be like this deep or something whatnot, but everything seems to be looking pretty well.
Demi, how's the Turnpike Road look in Johnson Hill? I haven't been over them, I just wondered.
Yeah, they're all good and pastoral, little ups there, when you headed up Johnson Hill from Standing Stones, they have that place we call the Mansion, they got the hill up there and then Bob Hall's camp there. That there yesterday is starting to wet, the frost is just coming out of there, but I didn't have anything like that for rotten and that by Bob Hall's camp there and where, Steve Hall lives there, that had gotten a little muddy there, we put some of that stone in and that's been holding up. So everything seems to be holding up pretty well this year.
What do you think about the frost? You think is it out or is it?
Oh, no, well, Johnson Hill, the frost really hasn't hardly started to come out a lot.
So shaded.
And so dark, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you got a, like, on my road, you got ahead of it, which was nice. You guys put down some gravel towards the bottom of Post Farm there
Yeah,
before it got bad, which helps, because that turns into a bog.
yeah, and things were going slow enough, so we was able, had time to hit them spots instead of,
waiting, yeah.
but every year is different.
Oh,
You
yeah.
never know how it's gonna go. Last year I was having some box scraper to work with, so that was really tough.
Yeah, but having that new grader, the two graders now.
2 graders and we had box scraper out too there, so we was able to hit around. And this weekend we went and plowed all the back roads, where me and Brett, we each took the grader out. In 6 hours with 2 graders, we was able to plow, scrape all the roads out. Some of them only went one way, it weren't much, but it was kind of slippery and whatnot, so I scraped it right down to dirt, so that ended up working good.
Good, well, you may get another chance tonight.
Yeah, I hope not.
I hope not too.
Well, 1 to 2 inches maybe. Who
Yeah,
knows,
it's-
then it's
yeah, that's
freezing
ice,
rain
yeah.
and then rain, it's.
And by middle of the day tomorrow, it's supposed to be in the fifties.
Yeah, if not 60, yeah. And
So, I mean,
Weird.
if we get a little bit of snow tonight, it won't be here long.
Just
Right.
tread it down and let it go,
yeah,
you know?
well, we don't get much.
Blacktop, I'm keeping an eye on that, but hopefully that'll stay melted right off, like, you know, when it's salt there, maybe. Or we can get your car back up, it's right there. Didn't look like last I looked at the weather there, that it was going to get much snow at all, to keep downplaying, but
I'll take
Did
that.
you get that one truck that had the broken spring up
no, that
Up
there,
there?
the appointment is for the 8th.
the 8th next week? Okay,
Yeah, it's Tuesday there,
okay,
so.
so they can do it while you wait then,
Yeah.
theoretically.
Well, we take them up there, take it up there and then go back and get it.
Okay.
But we'll have one of his wood trucks up there so they can kind of swap out that way.
Okay. You got the other one, the chain fixed on the sanding,
Yeah,
body
got
part.
that all together, so we're,
good. Nothing else that has given you any concern on the equipment?
no, what was it, having rolled up 2 cracks and 3 of the bodies, backbones and side ones, so we got them lighted up this morning. Been actually pulled the head gears off and put some of the tires on, so save the winter tires.
Yeah.
Good for another winter.
And you guys all know that Larry's your first contact, right, for the select board?
The liaison, yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, you can always come to any meeting, come to any of us, but if you got something,
Yeah,
Did Larry Severance call you? Did Larry Severance call you, Dem?
Yep,
Okay.
it was a while ago there,
Oh, yeah, but in the last couple of days,
no,
I told him to call you. He has, you get his permits for his, for the gravel up there.
that was the last guy I talked to, he said he didn't have them there yet. I thought the way he talked, he had to get his other access to them.
I don't know if they,
but yeah,
That
he
road,
told,
that road that's there now would be too dangerous to come out of with trucks. you can't see with all of the traffic coming down through there. And the last I heard, his prices were pretty high.
Well, he's loading. That,
Compared to,
and when I talked to him, I said, be willing to negotiate, so.
cause I think it's. Last I heard. It's some of the place, I think it was, and told me whatnot, it's like $15 a yard loaded.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah. But bank run gravel, so I mean, unless you're doing a new project, that really doesn't help the town, there's too much course stuff in it, too much course stuff
The
in
only
it.
thing it would be good for is if you're trying to build up a road.
Yeah, that's what I mean, if you had a project you were doing.
Figures out, cause that's by the time I figured out to like 7 something a yard loaded, so.
Where you're getting it now, or?
Getting hard packing, like getting gravel, getting that out, probably,
Yeah.
cause they give us a good price.
So what were you talking about then?
Twin State, they're,
Oh.
Victoria and check prices and fair prices, you got the conversion. Yards per ton, what.
Right.
And I think, Twin State figured out to be like 7 something a ton, yard loading was. This is 15, so Larry's almost twice as much.
Well, when he talked to me, I told him he'd have to negotiate with us. He wasn't,
You know,
But-
supposedly when he gets his I-250 permit, he's gonna get, Clay to come in and crush some of that stuff, so he'll have some smaller things that might be useful. But I don't know any more than
and it's
that.
not, in the travel, it's pretty close, pretty tight.
So did the engineer get this paperwork for this permit here into the state?
I don't
We're
know,
meeting on Friday morning.
Friday morning with
With the engineer
with the
and the A
engineer.
and R guy.
A&R, yeah,
No, not yet.
Not yet.
but he knows we're in a rush, so. Trying to get it quickly.
You gonna be there on Friday morning?
Sure.
I had, I was wondering, I just, cause it's fresh on my mind. And you might know the history of this, but the rec department. Said that, the law school said that we would maintain. That little stretch after pavement in the law school parking lot towards Carpenter Field. I don't know if anybody knows the history of that, but it needs it needs some grading, it's all.
Well, we can grade it sometime, I don't think I ever have.
That'd be awesome. If you got it on your
Well, it's going to
timeframe.
going to the town, town
Town
field.
fields.
Yeah.
Down field, so I don't think it'd be a big problem, and one of the grader operators is going by somewhere, spend a little bit of time.
You know, you can do that.
Smooth it up.
Maybe probably wait just a little bit, make sure all the frost.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Like, I'd be kind of start grading some of the roads now, but with the half-inch of rain coming this week.
No, this-
But next week, I'm hoping to have 2 graders out and just kind of be doing a light grade just to smooth them up a little bit.
Well, that would be great if you could fit that in. I'll let, it's like Emily Parker and is it Tim Parker, right?
Yep.
Tim Parker.
So you got about 50 miles of gravel roads, is that about what I remember? It was 72 total, and it was about 50
That
miles,
was
I thought it was around 62.
62, okay,
62 total or 62?
62 gravel.
gravel, and
And
then
then about
18, was it? No,
Well,
For
isn't it
pavement?
73 total?
yeah, 73, so it'd be 11.
So it'd be about 10 or 11 for pavement.
So 2 graders, it really makes a big difference,
you're
cover a lot of country.
not, you're wrong a lot of times, but hopefully.
But
Well, the rain will help bring the frost out of the ground too. The rain will help bring the frost out of the ground.
Actually, like those snow and whatnot actually help bring
Yeah.
the frost, just in traveling there.
But the roads really look good. I thought they were gonna fall all apart. No, they look good.
Reverse psychology.
I just remember being on the selectmen's board. In back between the eighties and nineties, and we had a mud season in February, it started. And we hauled gravel out of McCullough's pit for 2 weeks. Got all the roads gravel and we finally but it was a really bad time.
Well, so far this year.
No, it's been good, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
One
okay.
more thing
One
though
more thing.
before we go into executive session.
yeah, I brought this up last year when I first got on the board, and I never got to talk to you about it or any of you guys, cause I don't ever meet up with you guys. But it kind of was like one of those kind of like, oh, that's a good idea, and then nothing came of it, but I don't know. I think I would like to readdress it, just in talking to Dylan McCullough the last time he came in about North Road and whatever else, I think it would be a cool idea to have a road, specifically a road commission, like a team of, I don't know, 4 or 5 people who are,
Like an advisory?
yeah,
committee?
exactly, who could look closer at things like cost and equipment and down the road planning on things, just, people who would volunteer. Dylan McCullough already said you would. I'd asked him if that ever got together. I don't know. Is that anything that like, does that sound like an idea? I'm talking to everybody here, road crew and board, like, is that something that we might consider? I think other towns have done some of this before. Does it sound like an idea worth talking about?
I know when I was on the board there, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but. We got together, I borrowed, actually Crawford's are still in business, I borrowed a van, a 9-passenger van, and got all the select board members. And I think Roger also, he was the road foreman at that time. And we rode quite a lot of the roads, because a lot of the members didn't know all the roads that
Yeah.
are involved in the town of Royalton. And we did that just to get a better continuity, so when you're talking about, this road or that road, or over in Happy Hollow or wherever it might be. People had some idea where it was and just get an idea what was there, and that seemed to work out pretty well. I mean, we could still do that again sometime if they'd like. It's a thought, but that doesn't answer your question. I was just thinking myself out loud, if you thinking that, where would you get the 4 or 5 people? You're gonna have to get volunteers of some sort, or would you have another paid staff? I don't know.
No. Volunteers from the community, even seasonally.
But you need people that had some, background in that
Experience, yeah.
experience and background in roads and
Yeah.
grading and trees and dead stuff and
Yep.
that kind of stuff that
We're
just
talking
hear
about
back.
the whole town, cause everybody's a road expert.
Professionals.
They all like to comment, don't they?
Yeah.
Tell you how you should be doing that.
Volunteer is a different subject, though. They might not wanna do that.
In the past, way in the past, I guess. The town used to elect a road foreman.
Elect?
No, it was a road commissioner.
And
Yeah,
that was
road commissioner, right?
Oh,
Wayne Darling, I'm trying to think of some of the others that had been on there.
Stan
And
Benson.
then they voted for the selectmen. To hire a road foreman. Because the selectmen would have more control over the roads and, the road foreman. So just a little bit of history, it wasn't always this way, it was, and I gotta say, there at town meetings was pretty exciting sometimes, because the road, commissioner, took a lot of heat.
bet.
I'll bet they did. So the road commissioner, but there was still a foreman, right?
No.
And-
No,
just a commissioner and then.
and he was a
then
road,
crew.
yeah, and he was a working person, he'd be out with the road crew.
He
So that-
took care of all the work and whatnot, but any money had to go through the select board.
Yeah, So is that a paid position, kind of like town clerk is elected, but?
Yeah, and it was elected.
Reggie
So you
Frost,
might have a good one, then
Yeah.
people might hire somebody that hasn't got a clue.
Right,
Kind of like us.
And they could hire whoever they wanted for a clue.
oh, so they were in charge of hiring, yeah.
Subboard had no say over that.
Hmm. But, I think if you wanna talk about it.
Yeah,
More,
okay.
we can.
At another
um,
meeting, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it's a horrible idea.
Yeah.
If you actually had people who were interested and committed and knew what they were talking about and wanted to, were
Okay.
able to spend a little more time than. I mean, because we're caught up in the day-to-day gears so
Exactly.
much. If you had some people that were willing to do that, I think. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
okay,
report back, you know.
yeah. All right, so at this point, I think we'll go into executive session.
Is that a motion, Patrick?
Uh,
I make a motion that we go into executive session.
I'll second it.
Does that mean we should leave?
no, we're gonna invite you to stay. All those in favor?
Aye.
I would like to invite all the road crew and, I think- no action taken. Let me say that again.
I think you should take an action.
I think we.
Okay. Well, we've come out of executive session. And what do you think?
I think that we should. We should say that we discussed the personnel policy with the town crew. And explain that we were gonna enforce it.
And gave them a signature page to return.
Right.
Yeah.
And the road crew have all, signed their acknowledgement of the policy.
They did that though, and they did ask how, when they want the form back. When we wanted the form back, we got the forms,
We got the forms.
okay.
Yep.
All right, I guess that doesn't matter.
Sometimes people just wanna know why you went into the executive session, and
Right.
if you kind of let them know that you went over the personal. policy.
Yeah, I think
No, that's
that
fine.
makes sense.
That does make sense.
That's the motion, it's been seconded.
No, I don't know, I didn't make a motion, I just,
Yeah, I don't think it's a.
I don't think it really needs
No,
a
it
motion. It's
just
just
goes-
discussion,
Yeah.
In discussion,
but it'll appear in the minutes.
and Victoria, she just passed this around because she did some research and it's really good, so. I'm perfectly comfortable with it.
Oh, this was the
Highway improvement.
highway
fund.
improvement fund, yeah.
And I talked to the auditors, I called them. Because, they listed
Tyler.
it,
Yeah.
they listed it as committed funds, which mean you have to have a voter approval. But when I talked to the auditor, he was pretty sketchy back and forth. I said, well, either it is or it isn't. And he couldn't say, but he said, you need to go back to when it was formed and see what that says. I said,
Right.
okay.
And
Victoria
this
was good enough to look it up.
And that's, yeah, and so the voters did approve the improvement
It
fund.
looks like that to me.
Yeah,
Larry you were on the board, your
Right.
name was listed there.
so I thought it
So the
was,
use of the funds would be
yeah.
at the select board's discretion, so.
Anything else, guys? I need to go.
Okay, no, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
You want me to second the motion?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
I second the motion.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Please stand up.
please stand. Yeah.